Good evening and welcome to another edition. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host, as always. We really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. You know what we do here? We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you, we will talk about it right here on Facebook Live. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Hey, good evening and welcome in, welcome in. We do really appreciate you. Guess what? We made it to another week Friday. And hey, everything is well, we hope, with you as you get ready to get into a pretty warm weekend. But enjoy yourself. If you hadn't cut your yard and started, you can go on out there and kind of line it up and hey, do what I do. I get it lined up. Grass is still brown, but I get it all prepared for when it starts to turn green. Well, we won't be long today. It is Friday, and we're going to talk about some people that we're going to be bringing in on next week. Joseph Lee, he's running for the Shelby County Trustee's Office. We call that, he's the bank for Shelby County. And he's the one that would be keeping up with the money and what is going on financially in Shelby County. You know who Joseph Lee is. He's the former CEO of the Memphis Light Gas and Water. He worked for with Willie Harrington back in the day, and we're going to interview him. He's coming in on Thursday, and then on Friday we got a candidate for the Shelby County Sheriff. Will be coming in, Brother Poe, and we'll talk to him as it relates to how he feels about his campaign to be the next sheriff of Shelby County. If you, the voters, would vote for either one of these gentlemen for the position, how would they feel? The responsibility. And believe me, it is an awesome responsibility, ladies and gentlemen, to take on as the sheriff of Shelby County at this time. A lot of chaos going on within the sheriff's department. Are you strong enough? He is a lieutenant on the sheriff's department, but is he strong enough to be able to run the department uh, when we have the mess that's going on in the jailhouse? Uh, is there anyone that could step up to the plate? Well, you got Anthony Buckner right now, and I still tell you, he's the chief deputy, but they can't get it right. So now that they can't get it right, being in the sheriff department, in the administration with Floyd Munner, and believe me, you all know he couldn't get it right. The only thing he got right was the campaign contribution that he got to end up being your sheriff uh, for 8 years, and it's a mess. Well, y'all don't fix him up for life. Y'all gave him a good retirement. He gonna go into the sunset, laughing all the way to the bank. And when you have been in a position for 8 years, and you got the deaths that are going on in the sheriff department. The sheriff department, they said, need a new jail. Well, after so many years, politicians want to be able to say that I was there when we got a new jail. I was there when my name go on the building, along with the county commissioners when we rebuild another part of Regional One. It's all about, you know, fame. And right now, it shouldn't be fortune. But hey, I'm waiting on that forensic audit to tell me if it's about fortune. Because guess what? Money is missing, ladies and gentlemen. Deficits all around. But do we hold anybody accountable for the mess that's going on in this city? Do we hold anybody accountable? Well, you can hold them accountable in this next election coming up. As I said on yesterday, people are scrimmaging, they're nervous. I got so much to be nervous about. The forensic audit. A whole lot of people ought to be scrambling around. Wondering is my name in the bag of forensic. Did anybody know why I got the contract and I didn't deserve it? Well, I just want to see how far and how depth that this forensic audit will go. Again, good evening to you, Roderick Richmond. The interim. You thought you had permanent, didn't you? Yeah, you listening, and I see you listening every day. But again, I give you that invitation to come into this studio and sit down and talk about it. Because I got some key questions to ask you and see if you answer it. I challenge you to come on in and sit down, Roderick Richmond, the interim superintendent. Let's talk about some things because it's time to tell the truth and shame these devils. And a lot of you don't realize how long and how much politicians have been playing with you when you elect them. I keep saying, I want you to understand that look at your representation. Look at who has been representing you for the years they've been in office. And your situation is not any better. You are the election after election. You elect these individuals. It doesn't matter whether you're black or whether you're white. It is about the leadership, and people will sit boldly, stand in front of you, and they know that they are nothing but clowns that been in office and did the clown business, and that's nothing. All they did is entertain themselves. They showed up when they wanted to show up, but they still got the paycheck. It's time for us to fire some people. You know, that's our problem. We just keep rehiring, putting these people in office, and they haven't done anything for you. You all have to excuse my voice a little bit. This sinus is bothering me a little bit, but hey, we're gonna make it through it for the time we're gonna be here today, and we're gonna talk about that, especially that school board. When will y'all come on with it? They said it's supposed to be before this month is up. We'll see, but I know it ought to be before this session is over, and I think it get over around May or sometime in June, maybe May. We should know something by that time. Uh, 8 million, 7 million, whatever it was that they spent on this audit. And boy, that kind of money, it ought to be a good in-depth audit because you deserve it. You should know, as they say, inquiring mind ought to know and want to know what we found out about this audit. You know, the only place in Memphis, just a handful of people that end up when it comes up with missing money. And every time you say that that was a deficit, that means that money was missing if you cannot explain to us where the money went. You said that there's a deficit. You was given the money to take care of the business, but why do we have a deficit on the transit side, on the other side when it comes to the city? You know the county didn't have any money, and you know if they didn't have any money, they had to wait to get paid from Peter to pay Paul. They said that, hey, we can't pay our bills. Now, what kind of management or leadership that you have in office when you cannot pay your bills after giving you the money to pay your bills? Well, again, you know the money got to come from somewhere for the new jail. The money got to come from somewhere. You know, we come up, my wife and I was talking, and she was saying, well, uh, property taxes gonna be going up a little bit. We expect that. We expect the fact that property taxes are going to go up to pay the bills. And that's when they depend on you. That's when they come to you and convince you we need to raise taxes. And you go along and get along because that basically there's nothing you can really do other than people are leaving the city, but you can't take the property with you. Either they got to sell the property or they got to continue to pay the taxes. And when they go up, that revenue is supposed to pay our bills and take care of the responsibility of the city and the county. But see, history has shown us that in this city, we want to tax our way out of every situation that we get. You think about the taxes that they come up with. They had the wheel tax. Then not long later, after that, they came up with the camera tax. And that's all it is when you run the red light and that camera catches you. That's revenue from there. See, when you get in office as a leader, and the only way you think you can solve the problem is raising the taxes. And some people would say, yeah, I remember years ago out there at the North Shelby Time paper they had out there in Fraser. And I was talking to the Fraser club out there. And I told them that I was strongly against raising any taxes if I was elected to the city council. Well, people were for that. But I had a gentleman that was the president or what they want to call it, whatever they want to call him back then. He walked up to me and said, Brother Bernard, I really like what you said, but you know that's not realistic. And I said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, that's not realistic for you to say that you're not going to vote to raise any taxes. And he said, well, how will we pay our bill? I said, easily. We will not do these unnecessary projects that we spend money on that we could really keep in the bank for that period of time when it comes a rainy day. But the only reason that we raise taxes is to keep us broke, basically. When you raise taxes, they got a project, and then the next year they got another project. They spending the money as fast as we can be taxed. So if they tell you, well, we're gonna raise the taxes, we need a new wing of a hospital. Who gonna pay for it? We gonna pay for it because we are the taxpayers. And who are they? They are the money grabbers. And understand that we have to sit down at the table of understanding as a community and say, wait a minute, there's some things that we know we need. How much money do we bring in by way of revenue? We got to sit down and just budget ourselves as a community, as a government, and the people that we put in office need to know we can't give out this much money as it relates to nonprofit, as it relates to hospital, 10 million, 8 million, or whatever it is. At some point, you cannot continue to keep taxing the people. You know that when you get your paycheck, you know what you can do, and you know what you can't do when you have to keep up your household. Government, is my opinion, is no different. You know the money that you got coming in. You know that to pay your bills, you can't be continuing coming up with projects. And that projects, if you ain't got the money for it, you're gonna go to the people and ask them, and people will start leaving here. But that building that sits there, whether it be a home or a building, taxes, every time you raise it, somebody got to pay it. Or they do this. They abandon the property and don't give a you know what about it, and then we got blight. Somewhere we have to elect people that understand that not everything you need to tax the people on. But they said that's how we pay our bills. So when do you get tired of being sick and tired of people? All they want to do when they get in office is to tax you to death. But they know you can't do anything about it if they tax you, but you can do something about it if you don't put those people in their office. You need to know. And that's why I'm saying forms are important. People came out for the sheriff form, they came out for the county mayor, but they need to come out for the city council, county commission meeting. You need to talk and interview these folks. And see, it's being slick. I've noticed that they're being slick. That was the time when you ran for office, you as an individual could step up to the mic and ask the person what you wanted to ask them. Now they want you to write it down and have a moderator. A moderator is good to address the issues and the concern that you have. But when they want to have you to write it down and just say you got this amount of time to answer the question, to me that's a stage, and they're not giving you the opportunity as the citizen to ask the question. Some will say, well, the question is still being asked, but still, they need to know the passion that the people have on these issues, and that people can give their concern. You know, when I went to that sheriff uh, forum and I sit and listen, had to leave, but I didn't think I got the answers as being a former sheriff deputy and know some of the ins and out as it relates to the sheriff department. I just didn't think that the questions and some of the answers really wasn't giving the people what they needed to hear. And sometimes they just throw something out there, make you think, oh, we'll do this, we'll do that. But they don't know the hoops that you got to jump through to be the head of a department or an office. You got a bunch of people as clerks that don't know what they're doing at all, but you put them in there. Nobody asked them, what is your background as a clerk? Well, I don't have any background as a clerk, but I was elected to the county commission, or I was elected to the city council. But that does not give you the qualification you need to run the criminal court clerk's office. And see, people jump from one position to the other. And how do you know what to do if you go into a position and you have no experience? I would say this to you. individuals who have been in office and have worked in a clerk's office, have been the assistant or that clerk don't want to run anymore. Why would you go get somebody outside? I've never ever been in a clerk's office. Don't know anything about criminal court clerk, probate court clerk, uh, assessor, deeds of register. All of those things are very important. And just a few days ago, when I had Shalanda Ford here, and she talked about the things that she did, the experience that she had. But then you turn around and put somebody in the office that haven't done anything in the length of time that they've been in the office. So who suffers? The people suffer from not having a qualified individual in that office. But we got to start thinking, and I said common sense thinking, but we don't do that. And because we don't take time to learn and understand what's going on, this is how we end up. We end up with the city of Memphis in the shape that it's in. It's all about the people you put in office. This is the reason. All of them said to you last administration, we gonna be tough on crime. Jim Strickland said that. I remember he ran on that. I will fight crime. And crime climbed to the worst position that had ever been in the history of this city. But they'll tell you something. Oh, yeah, uh, they'll say, sweetheart, I care about you. I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to do that for you. And then when they get you, they turn around and do nothing for you. It's a bad relationship if you think about it. Some of you ladies can contest to that. Oh, he was whining and dining you. He was making you feel good and you think you was on cloud nine. But when he got you, he didn't do any of those promises that he made to you. It's just like politicians. They'll swear, they will make promises that they know they're not going to keep. They wine and dine you politically. And when they got in office, they did nothing that they told you they was going to do. And this is why we are in the position that we're in. Oh, they kiss the baby, shake the hands, hug you. Oh, I got you. And you being all, oh, this is so and so, so and so. He's running for so and so. And you get hooked up in the madness, the craziness that these people are telling you. When you find somebody that's doing the job, when you find somebody that keep their word as it relates to doing what is necessary to keep us afloat. But when people tell me, and I hear them saying, we are broke, we got to wait to get a paycheck to be able to take care of this county, of this city. When you look at people and you see them making bad decisions, and you say, well, there's no way out. There's a way out when election comes not to vote them back in. But I really do believe, and I hope, and I think they would never do it, but we do need to have a recall system. Because if you ever have that on the plate, and they know they can be recalled, some of them will be a little leery of sitting back doing nothing. You probably would get them to work if we had this. But if you ask any of them, would you be willing to vote for a recall or try to get a recall in place? They will tap dance all around that question, will not answer the question that you ask, because that means that you got them and they'll pay attention. See, when you just let people work and have, doing a job and they getting paid, they really don't care because they can get by with doing absolutely nothing. And it's our fault. I want you all to take responsibility when you go into that booth. Go in there with your own mind, your own reason as to why you're going to vote for this individual. Just don't let that individual sit in there, draw a paycheck, and do nothing. If you ask any of these elected officials, what have you done lately to improve the condition of your district? And then if they go to lying, you know they're lying because all you got to do is drive up and down in your district and seeing what's going on in this district. And if you do, you would know that the person that's talking to you, they've been lying. Tell me what you done. Tell me and give me a good reason why I should vote to re-elect you. Tell me what you done. Well, I addressed this issue. Well, what a issue? What about the issue? What happened when you voted for that? I can tell you what happened when you put in or voted for the AI, and they had a meeting just the other day about that. And I told you, I kept telling you, and they kept telling you, oh, it's not going to hurt you. But the study has shown when you want 40 turbines, that it may come over into the South Memphis area. When you want 15 and now you want 30 turbines. Now you got to be outside of your mind if you think that you can put those type of turbines and nothing will happen from it. Everything that you make that produce any kind of energy, there's going to be some fallout from that. But they convince you, or we unanimously decided to vote it and let it come in after he had already started, Elon Musk. Now you want to jump on and say it's a unanimous decision. I don't care if it's a unanimous decision. You can be wrong. You can be wrong, even if it's a unanimous decision, you can be wrong. Have you taken the time to study when it comes down to that? People will be sick. And in my opinion, I believe we may not be here, but people are going to be dying from the bad decisions that that council made, the bad decision that the county commission made, the bad decision in Nashville that they made. But one thing I think coming out of Nashville is the best decision for our children is that the state take over. Now you had the opportunity to say, okay, we're gonna do better than the state. We got it. We got control of it. We're gonna do the right thing. But that word keep popping up in my mind. Greed stop you from doing what you were supposed to do. Greed took out an individual that was in the superintendent spot, getting ready to move forward, getting ready to address these contracts, getting ready to address where the money is going. But guess what? When somebody good trying to do something, then you find a way to get rid of that person because it's not beneficial for you if you're getting contracts. You do everything you can to get a person out there. And I'm reminded of something that Paul, the apostle, said. The more good I do, evil is ever present. And when we find somebody that's good and qualified, that has some know-how as a clerk, then we turn around and do the evil to get them out of office or don't put them in office, and we end up suffering like we are right now in Memphis. We have a utility company that's supposed to be beneficial and helping the citizens of Memphis. But in my opinion, when you look at your utility bill, I think you're being raped, and that's a powerful word. That's a bad word as it relates to physically or financially. When somebody is raping you every month and you supposed to feel good about it, but you don't do anything about it. See, every time that any of the boards meet, it ought to be crowded. The light, gas, and water have to tell you can't nobody else come in because we up to our capacity. That's the way we supposed to turn out in all of these political positions. Some of you sitting at home, not really doing anything. You ought to make it say, okay, this is what I'm gonna do on this second Thursday, second uh, Friday, second Tuesday. I'm gonna just go down and listen for a while. Show up, and when they look out in that audience and see you and you out there for a reason, and you got some concern, and a lot of you can step up to the microphone and give them your concern. And when they hear it a lot, when they see that you are motivated, community by community, you're ready to take on this mess that they're doing here. It's only a paycheck. That's all it is. It's not about you. It's about a paycheck. And when will we wake up? Because I'm going to still do what I do. I'm going to still talk to you. I'm going to still bring those who are willing to come in and talk to you. Some will come, some will not. But they don't want you to know how vulnerable they are when it comes to not knowing what's going on. But that box, that little bag of what I call forensic audit will tell the story. Will tell the story, and you will find out when it comes to certain people in this city. Let me say this, though. You already know that somebody don't know what they're doing. You already know because look at the city. Look at a mayor that came into the office but didn't and have not addressed the deficit. I say to you again, you don't take on any kind of position, politically, business, wise, if you don't find out what's going on, the financial of the position you're about to take. Anybody who is smart enough and decent enough to know that you go into an office and you got a $77.7 million deficit, a person with a liquor sense, as they used to say, would say, no, I'm not going to take on this without finding out why we got a deficit. Some would say, oh, you're going to have deficit every year. But those are the people you don't need to fool with. Your job is to get in there and try to fix it where we don't have a deficit. So if you just roll on and say, hey, one administration after another administration, that's just the way it is, we're going to have deficits. I can't accept that. See, any project that I take on, I want the best of the best, whether it's pastoring, whether it's my business or whatever it is. I want to make sure that it is the best of the best and giving you all of my all. But some people just want a paycheck. And ladies and gentlemen, it's your time now to make that difference, to make that change when it comes to the people that you are elected and putting in office. We got them coming in here. It's going to be soon before it's over with. We're going to be into April. And that's when the rubber meets the road. That's when you got to make the decision. What are you going to do? Are you going to do the right thing, or are you going to continue is that to continue to happen in this city? I'm Jennings Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Uh, I want you to thank you for you listening and doing what you do to support this program. I ask that you subscribe to this program. Uh, that on Facebook, and you can go to our website at memphisrealtalk.com. The same for YouTube, X, Spotify. We got them all out there. Matter of fact, I got a call uh, this morning from my number, and the lady said, "I'm listening to your program." Well, I know I wasn't on the program. I knew she had to be listening, and I could hear it in the background. The interview. She said, "I want to talk to your guest." And I said, "Well, ma'am, you evidently are listening to a program a couple of days ago, but I will give you the information where you can go and get the information you want. But what you're listening to is a recorded program that's on Facebook or wherever she was listening to it. You out there listening, and I appreciate it. I appreciate the fact that if we bring someone in here and they can help you in any kind of way, then I've done what I'm supposed to do as the host of this show, as a concerned citizen in this community, to try to help get rid of the wrong that we are dealing with every day in this city. That's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. Like I've done anything else, I've always stepped up to the plate to make a difference. See, you have to be strong enough to be able to take the criticism, be able to take those folks who are going to be negative, but that don't bother me. Because I can handle whatever business I'm doing. I've always been able to do that. And that's why I'm here. Not for Jennings Bernard, because Jennings Bernard can go somewhere, sit down, and just enjoy every day God given. And I am doing that. But I can't just sit back and see wrong that's happening in this community and not say anything. Yeah, I want you to know that when I come into a building, I'm there to help the people. I'm going to listen. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to find out those individuals. What are you bringing to the table to make the citizens of Memphis better? Or are you there just to draw a paycheck? And how many of you, I say it again, would love to have a part-time job paying you 45,000 a year for 2 days or maybe three out of a month? You would like that, wouldn't you? Why do you think everybody and their grandmama want to run for office with no experience? But we're gonna weed through these bushes and come out and find good candidates for you. We will every now and then tell you that based on what's happening in this community, this individual got the record of success. They have done the job and done it before, and it's time to put him back in office. Because guess what? What we got now? No, no. It's just not fitting and it's not working. Let's send a message. If you can take 50% of these people out of office, I say take them all out. But if you can take a good number out, you would send a message to the people, whoever running, understand that if I don't do this job, I don't care what my name is, I don't care who my family is, you have more control over that situation than any family because you are the one who makes the decision to do the thing the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. I appreciate you and I look forward to next week. This weekend, we'll probably try to fill up the guest list. Uh, we got Thursday and Friday. We'll be doing Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And we get some people in here and see are they willing to come and talk to you. As always, I really do appreciate you tuning in and being a part of this program. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button as well. And we do appreciate you. In the words of my grandmother, she used to always say, boy, did I love my grandmother. I still talk about her at this age that I am now. She was very wise. And things that she told me back then, I still hold true to what she said, even at this day and time. Some of you know about it. She took a little of this and a little of that and made a whole lot work. Made your stomach full, was there to take care of you when you couldn't take care of yourself. She always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on Monday. You all have a blessed and safe weekend. Crime is still alive and well, but it's not as high as it's been. But you just keep your head on the swivel. Look around your surroundings. And always remember what I said makes a whole lot of sense. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. God love you. You take care.